How's it going? I'm David Doty. My adopted country is Nigeria, and I just finished watching Wide Angle Time for School, and this is my video response. And what I'm planning to do is I'll kind of go through each country and share my thoughts on the students and kind of what happened. So, I'll start with Afghanistan. I thought the girl Shugafa, she had a really a strong desire to work and to learn, but you could see that she was overwhelmed with how many chores and activities that she had to do. You could see that her mom didn't really have a kind of a high place for her education. I thought that was a bit disappointing, to be honest. I mean, you could see that her desire to learn was strong, but her mom was, I think, more focused on her helping out with the chores around the house. And I thought it was very something I didn't really like, but I think it's just the culture that was there, is that the men they don't have to do any of the chores. They just get to kind of chill and just do whatever. And I mean, I understand that's part of the culture, but I didn't like that. I think that it should be a joint effort in doing household chores. And I think if that happened, be able to help her spend more time with her studies. And then the other one, the kid in Brazil, I think it was Jefferson, I think is his name. I thought it was kind of gut-wrenching that he spent all this time doing his schoolwork and working hard and bumped up in grade, and then he's unable to graduate because the school principal thinks that he isn't ready to make that jump. That was just, to me, it was gut wrenching because you could see the disappointment on his face when he went to the graduation. He was there, and you could see his grades were there. It wasn't like he failed. He was more than capable, and they just felt like they were withholding his future. You could see his drive and his determination. He was smart. He wanted to be a soccer player. All these different things that he wanted to become, and they were just I felt like they were withholding that and not letting him be able to press on and move forward in his life. And I can understand the pressures of, well, he's young, he might be influenced to do poor things, make poor decisions. But you could see his sister there, and you could tell that they had a relationship. They cared about each other. And I just feel that if Jefferson was able to move forward, that his sister would be there to help him. You could see that his mom cared about him and cared about their family, but she had to work. She had to provide for them. And I did like that her mom cared about her kids. She said at one point, "I fear that my sister or my daughter will become a whore, or that my son will become a drug dealer." You could tell that she cared about them, and she knew that the best way to overcome that was to get an education. And she was working to help provide that, and she even put Jefferson into after school activities, school place type deal. And I thought that was very heartwarming that she cared about her kids and their future. And then in India, I thought this was kind of sad, to be honest, that the girl was 15 years old and she didn't know what 6 plus 6 was, and she was 15. I've found that rather heartbreaking, to be honest. It's very humbling to realize how blessed we are to be here, to get an education, and I think sometimes we take advantage for that. Another thing I didn't really like was you could tell her parents didn't care about her education. They didn't encourage her to work hard and get things done. She went to a night school, and you could tell that they cared more about the chores of what was their farm or their field or whatever you want to call it. You could tell that that was more important than her education. And her parents said, "Oh, well, she'll just marry an educated guy." They didn't really care about her education at all. And her mom even said it, "What's the point of getting an education? No one uses it here." I just felt like that was sad. Um, and then with the kid in Japan, I I thought that was very interesting because you could see that his parents cared about his education. You could see that he had a drive. He wanted to learn. It was part of the thing. He wanted to play baseball. And what I like about the kid's story is that he started out and I think he said he was like 25th on the team, and he worked and he put forth the effort and made it to he was 5th on the team. And you could see that he had a drive. He had a passion. He wanted to become better. Um, and I think a lot of it, after viewing the whole video, I looked back on why some kids were successful and some of them weren't, why their education was going well and why others weren't. I think a lot of it had to do with their parents and their own personal drive. Their parents, because they were putting in the time, the effort, they wanted their kids to succeed, and you could tell that influence rubbed off on them. And then you could tell sometimes with the kids that they just had a determination. They wanted to press forward and become better. And you could tell that some kids didn't, and you could see that there was a big difference between those two. But overall, I really liked the movie, the film. I wonder what happens with the kids later down the future. I hope we get to find out. But yeah, that's my video.